Hello and welcome to the day ahead. It is Friday, the 21st of March. I'm Nadine Blaney. Well, local markets is set to open lower by about 17 points or 0.2%, according to the SPY futures. Now, we are expecting to see Coles and Woolworths be in focus after the ACCC has released its 20 recommendations after a year-long inquiry into the supermarkets. It wants to improve competition, calling Coles and Woolworths amongst the most profitable supermarkets in the world. Margins have increased steadily over the past 5 years. However, most of the pressure on the market will emanate from Wall Street. The Fed's relief rally ran out of puff on Thursday in the United States as investors continue to weigh up the threat of tariffs and weaker economic data. The Nasdaq was off by 0.3%, although the VIX index, as you can see, also slightly lower. The tech sector was the weakest overall. Apple investors were digesting a Bloomberg report as well that Apple is reorganizing its executive team to refocus its efforts in AI. In corporate news, FedEx shares rose into its results, but after the bell, shares reversed those gains and extended trading, falling 4%. It's forecasting FY25 revenue will be flat to slightly down year on year. Accenture shares reversed to drop on canceled contracts, dragging its peers lower as well. So IBM shares also fell after Accenture flagged those federal contract cancellations. Microchip technology dipped after launching a $1.35 billion convertible stock offering, and Micron Technology shares rose ahead of its second quarter results. So Nike shares slipped ahead of its quarterly earnings as well, but reversed that in extended trading after posting a smaller drop in revenue. Apparently, it had a strong holiday season and is seeing an uptick in demand. And with one of the key themes for this quarterly earnings season being tariff risk, interesting to note that discount store Five Below jumped on a solid sales forecast despite tariff risks. Eli Lilly & Co. shares were higher after the launch of its weight loss drug Mounjaro in India, and Energy Transfer shares fell. In fact, Nat Gas Company shares were down across the board on a surprise storage build and lower demand forecasts. U.S. economic data showed weekly initial jobless claims increased slightly last week, although the outlook may be dimming because of government spending cuts, interest rate levels, and policy uncertainty. The Conference Board reported that a measure of future economic activity fell 0.3% in February after easing 0.2% in January, and existing home sales in February rose 4.2%, beating expectations for a fall. Market participants are pricing in 63 basis points of cuts from the Fed this year, with 71% odds for a cut of at least 25 basis points at the June meeting. With all that information, U.S. Treasury yields paired an earlier drop as traders remain cautious. Yields did tumble, though, earlier in the session after the Fed indicated the U.S. Central Bank is ready to act in the case of a slowing economy. The Bank of England kept interest rates on hold and warned investors against assuming they will be cut quickly. The BOE left borrowing costs at 4.5%, with Governor Bailey highlighting the sudden lack of visibility about the outlook, due largely to the rise in trade tensions kicked off by the U.S. under President Donald Trump. Bailey is also concerned that inflation remains a risk, saying he really does have to wait to see evidence it's continuing to wane unfold. Also, Switzerland's central bank cut its policy rate by 25 basis points. Sweden's central bank held its policy rate at 2.25%, and Turkey increased its interest rates by 25 basis points. In currencies, there was little reaction to the pound, to the BOE. The US dollar index was up on the day, with its defensive nature driving King dollar higher. The Aussie dollar trading at 63 US cents. And Bitcoin continues to come under pressure, trading at 84,390. In commodities, crude prices rose nearly 2% after the U.S. issued new Iran-related sanctions. Copper rose 0.2%, hitting a 10-month high. Iron ore rose 0.2%, but gold and silver fell slightly on profit-taking. Today, no big economic data here locally after yesterday's surprise fall in jobs, although the unemployment rate held steady at 4.1%. In equities, Premier Investments reports and shares of Latitude Group will be trading ex-dividend. That does it for the day ahead. I'm Nadine Blaney. We'll see you next week.